Hi guys, welcome back to the Sterling Spectre YouTube channel. In today's video we're going over the Intel Arc A380. So this is released now in America, I think 3 days ago, and they've just started to get mining software for it, but we'll go over that in a little bit. I've seen reports that it's not actually that good, but we'll have a look at that later. It says here that Intel's latest GPUs are bad news for crypto miners. So this came out on July 21st of 2022, so about a month ago. It says the drivers for Intel Arc Alchemist GPUs seemingly do not support the ability to mine cryptocurrency. As reported by Tom's Hardware, anyone who equips their system with an Intel Arc A380 board for desktop PCs will apparently be unable to mine Ethereum. YouTuber DJ Mines, if you didn't know who that is, he's a big crypto mining YouTuber in the space, so go subscribe to his channel, stated that he got the GPU driver working great, but unfortunately it looks like no mining programs support the Intel GPUs yet. He was unable to set up the mining capabilities even after trying a variety of crypto programs, including NiceHash, T-Rex, LolMiner, Team Red Miner. These were all tested on Windows-based systems, and HiveOS is waiting for testing. In any case, the revelation shouldn't have too much of an impact considering the state of cryptocurrency market. Value for Bitcoin and Ethereum has fallen, so obviously this was a month ago, so just take this out of context for today's prices. The result of graphics card prices availability has returned to normal, with the current state of the market even pushing retailers to board partners to drop prices below the manufactured suggested retail price. Mining ETH on graphics cards that allow it was previously hugely lucrative actively. In total, Ethereum miners spent a staggering $15 billion on graphics cards alone in the past 2 years. Now though, the return of ETH mining is at its current value means it'll take over a year in some cases just to cover the cost of a GPU itself. So the Intel Arc A380 is actually very cheap. I think it's around $230 MSRP. Either way, Tom's Hardware notes that Intel Arc A380 graphics card is not necessarily a board designed with gamers or miners in mind. Its architecture is based on entry-level GPUs that supports 8 Xe cores. These specifications allow it to deliver 3 T-flops in addition to a 96-bit GDDR memory interface. Following numerous delays and somewhat delayed launch for laptops, Intel's discrete Arc GPUs have now made their way to consumers in China. However, the reviews for the Arc A380 in particular highlight some glaring issues. So obviously it was released in China, but today we're getting this release in the US, and that was around 3 days ago, so obviously we're a bit late on the news, but I was waiting for some sort of mining hardware to actually come out for the Intel GPUs. So if we look here on NanoMiner, this is the newest update on the GitHub. It says added Intel Arc support for ETHash, added automatic switch from Ethereum to Ethereum Classic when Ethereum moves to proof of stake. So this is obviously good, but as we can see here, we go down and see that Intel Arc A380 Ethereum hash rate is only 10 megahash without overclocking. Now 10 megahash for a GDDR6 6GB of RAM is not very good. That compares to something like the 1070 or 1060, and even they have better mega hashes than this. They have around 17 to 20, something like that, on Ethereum. So this Intel Arc is not very good at mining. So with overclocks, you might be able to push it to like maybe 12 or 13. This obviously says without overclocks. And it says that it's automatically configured to switch to Ethereum Classic when the actual switch comes in. So in terms of mining, I don't think this card is going to be good. In terms of gaming, I don't think it's going to be good either. This card is mainly just for desktop GPUs that, you know, are for maybe a little bit of gaming, but not too high performance. For games like Minecraft, let's say. Just something that can actually make the computer run better, but it doesn't necessarily cater towards gaming or mining in terms of, you know, the bus width and the memory. So what I really want to talk about is the bus width on this actual card. As you can see here, it has this new Intel processor, 1000 cores, 64 TMUS, 32 ROPS, and a 6GB memory size with GDDR6. So GDDR6X is the highest one that we have right now, but below that is GDDR6, and it's pretty good to have in a graphics card basically. But the main thing I want to talk about is the bus width, and this is what is really limiting this card. So with a bus width of 96 bits, you can't really have good mining. Bus width really directly correlates to how good a card is at mining. If we look at the RTX 3090 here, we can see that it has a bus width of 384 bits. And 384 bits, obviously, if anyone's mined on a 3090, is absolutely great. Basically, all of the 30 series have like 250 or maybe 300 above bus width. So they're really good at mining, as we've seen in the past couple of years whilst we're mining Ethereum and other coins like that. And this allows them to be very good for mining, and bus width is directly correlated in with this. So the fact that this Intel Arc only has 96 bits of bus width really doesn't allow it to actually mine coins very well. Obviously it says on here this is only for Ethereum Classic and Ethereum, so we could see on maybe Flux, Ravencoin, Ergo that we do get a higher output of mega hash from those coins. You know, some GPUs do tend to do better on different coins, such as the 20 series. They do way better on Flux than they would on Ethereum. So that being said, I don't think it's going to be a good idea to buy the Intel Arc A380 just because of this bus width if you're going to mine. If you're going to use it as like a desktop PC, like maybe your second desktop PC, then I'd go ahead and buy one. You know, they are on the cheap right now, and you can probably get them for cheaper than MSRP just because they're not very good. So if we look here, we have an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1050 Ti, which is like really bad at mining. That only does 10 mega hash, and that still has 128 bits of bus width. So that is way higher than that of the Intel Arcs. Obviously NVIDIA have been producing high performance graphics cards for the last 10 years or whatever, and they are very good at mining. That's why they're favored. But just to show you a comparison, that this is around, I think it's something like 8 years old or maybe 7 years old. So a 7-year-old graphics card does way better at mining than it would on a new graphics card that Intel has released. I think it's really a timeline of Intel actually introducing cards. You know, obviously NVIDIA have been building up their graphics cards for a while, and they know what they're doing with their graphics cards to make them better at mining, at gaming, at doing actual tasks. Intel only have a year in the game. They did produce graphics cards around 10, 15 years ago, but they weren't very good. Intel obviously need to step up their game if they want to be a comparison to AMD or NVIDIA in this space. And I think that even if you cater to miners, that would be way better than actually catering just to an overall audience, because miners are basically the main buyers of GPUs. We've seen that in the past year we spent over $15 billion putting into mining GPUs. And obviously if the Ethereum merge comes in, then we might not see GPU mining for a while, but still it's good to cater to an actual audience. I know all these graphics cards companies don't really favor GPU miners just because that's not what they're intended to be. These graphics cards are intended for gaming and for, you know, high performance editing softwares and stuff like that, Adobe After Effects. So I really think that Intel needs to step up their game in terms of this. The Intel Arc series also has, you know, a 4-year kind of timeline that they're going to be producing better GPUs on. So hopefully this top end GPU that they are releasing in the next 4 years will be better than this one that they've produced first off. As you can see here, we have base clocks of 2000 MHz and boost clocks of 2450 MHz, and the memory clock is only 1937 MHz. These aren't really good in terms of crypto mining or in terms of graphics cards in general. You know, if we look at the 3090, we have a megahertz of around 1395 MHz and a boost clock of 1695 MHz, with a memory clock of 1219. So the lower the clock speeds, the better performance basically. Now I also think that the overclocking on these will be slightly worse as well, just because, you know, normally when you have a low end graphics card there's not much room to actually overclock it. I've used a 1050 Ti in the past to actually mine crypto, and it wasn't very good. There also wasn't much variation in overclocking. I could only boost the clocks for a certain amount, maybe like 100 on each side, before it actually started to throttle, and then it would, you know, basically just shut down my computer. So I think that going forward I wouldn't be buying one of these for mining, but if you want it for a second computer just to run games and stuff like that, I would go ahead and give it a try. It is at a cheap price right now, so you might as well take advantage of that. And hopefully in the next 4 years we'll see that the Intel start producing better graphics cards for basically mining or gaming. If you guys did enjoy this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. Also, join the Discord, the link is in the description. I'll be doing weekly updates and I'll be answering your questions on mining or crypto investing basically. What's happening in the space right now and stuff like that. Information you should know going for the week ahead. Also, I'll leave links to all the articles in the description below.